All right, guys, it is deep in the witching hour, 2 o'clock in the morning, and I thought I would burn some oil a little bit, and I wanted to come and talk real quick about the division that's being caused, and I'm talking about real quick. Like I won't be here long. I honestly won't, cause I got some meditation to do. I know whenever people say that they have meditation to do, there's a lot of people that take it as some kind of what do you call that, threat when you say that you're getting ready to meditate. But when High Priestess Jamila meditates, it's not involving that. So I won't be here long. Okay. Hey, Unicali, how are you? Hey there. So I wanted to come and talk about causing division and how people that want to tear down, divide and conquer, how causing chaos and division is a very common spiritual war tactic. Now, I actually don't have a problem with this tactic, and I'm going to tell you why. If it's a person that is immoral, if it's a person that's a bully, if it's a person that is just very problematic, starting stuff with you, I think that you are justified in doing that. It's all a part of bringing down a house of enemies against you, especially if you were attacked unprovoked. So I am not against that particular spiritual warfare tactic. However, I am against it when it is done unjustifiable. But I notice people, and I've even done this before myself. I know I can be such a bad, wicked witch. I've done this before myself. Um, not anything on YouTube. Like I think that having a beef with somebody in social media, I think it's common. I think that it's very easy in the spiritual community to have a beef with somebody in social media, definitely. But I just don't, I just don't think it should go that far. I think that people are making a mistake when they do that. I think that you would really have to do a lot of deep research that involves you looking at it through the eyes of intellect and not emotion for you to say, okay, is this person really a karmic? Is this person really a op? Is this person really somebody that I should be going after? Because I'm going to tell you something. I look at a lot of videos of witches, right? And a couple of them that I come across, like, or that I've came across, like, I didn't have a problem with them, but you can see it in their eyes. You can see their ancestors in their eyes, and their ancestors can and will take you out, like literally. So you can tell, you could tell, especially if it's a witch that just got that gleam in her eye. Not that I start trouble, you know what I'm saying? I ain't never been no troublemaker with nobody, but you can just tell. So I just think that it's stupid to do that. And I don't know why anybody would do that. Um, Somebody's ancestors don't have nothing to do necessarily with their mama, with their baby daddy, with their friend. You can't judge that by a cover. You can't judge that based upon what is going on in a person's life. You just never know a person's spirits and what they have backing them up. You just don't know. Like, so I think that social media spiritual wars are stupid. I don't necessarily take people seriously that are doing that, but it can get really serious, especially depending on the situation. But like, let me get back to what I was saying. Though, wasn't somebody in social media, but I had some stuff going on, and it was like three or more people, and so pretty much I made all of them fall out with each other. You know what I'm saying? Because people can combine forces against you and just make things hard on you. And so it's really best to not be a troublemaker like that, like, because that can happen to you, which is why I'm very careful when I help people who literally have a lot of division in their life and they're like, everybody betrayed me, everybody. This can have roots. For example, if you were sold, because, some people got parents selling their souls. So it depends on why the situation is happening. You know what I'm saying? But I'm still careful about that because it's kind of like if you went out starting trouble with people looking for it, then trouble is gonna find you. Trouble's coming for you. But like, for example, if too much time has went by, like if it's been 3 months, 6 months, and it's time to walk away, it's time to literally walk away from that situation, and folks ain't walking away, then that's when you have the right to cleanse, get it out of your timeline, get it off of you. And it's not a reversal. A reversal is very different from a cleanse. Seriously. A cleanse is where you're wiping the slate clean. You're not sending anything back. But a reversal is when you have to return to sender, and it's obvious when you need to return to sender. So many people will go out there and they'll start mess with people, and the person will defend themselves, and then they're like, "Oh, I got to return to sender." How? How are you going to return to sender when you the one that created that energy? You the one that did it. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, so when I see people talking the way that they talk, to the point where it's kind of like they can't trust nobody, you got to open up your eyes and see what's happening. Somebody could literally be causing division in your life. I think they call that the evil eye. Like, I've seen people try to turn everybody against one person. People will try to turn your kids against you. People will try to turn your husband against you. People will try to turn your friends against you. It is a very common spiritual warfare tactic. And you see what I'm saying? Now, but Unicali is something that people need to wise up to. And you know what? I totally understand because I've been in that situation to where I've gotten into it with people. And if you don't have any immunity to that, like if your immunity is not up, it can come on real strong. Them type of curses can come on real strong. I can always tell when somebody is possessed too. You know what I'm saying? People will do that, especially if they're trying to get something out of you. They want you into it with everybody. They typically want you isolated. They typically want you by yourself, which is nothing wrong with being by yourself. But when it comes to people in your life that are important to you, and I understand getting upset, I would be upset too if somebody that I was close to just turned against me. Like, how deep was the love of the friendship if you just turned away from me? You know what I'm saying? So, but like I said, it depends on the reason. But it's a very common tactic, and you ain't supposed to just be in spiritual warfare like that. Like, that's abnormal for you to constantly be in spiritual warfare with people. That's not normal. So I was born an empath. I was born like this. And so I was already doing the work, healing people before I ever came to social media. And it's not all that spiritual warfare. I know that what's going on in the world right now can kind of change that. But there are some people that are living in peace and harmony. And what's the problem to where you ain't at peace with certain stuff? Like, what's going on? Like, somebody has probably literally done something to turn people against you. And then you also have to take accountability on what you're doing because, you know, I think that that's what the issue is when it comes to witchery and witchcraft. You know what I'm saying? Because you know how they say power corrupts. Well, it's a lot of people, they'll start doing rituals, they'll start doing spells, and they'll see that them shits are working. And then they all of a sudden start thinking that they God and that they can do this and they can do that. And all the rest of these people in this world are just puppets and, paper people, and they don't matter or whatever. But in reality, when you go too far, you go too far. And when you go too far, that's when you get lost. That's literally when you get lost. When you don't have any boundaries. And everything has boundaries. Everything has boundaries. So I think that, like, when I look at cases or whatever, like when people come to me, I don't just let people play victim. Like, what did you do? Like, I've had people come to me and lie to me. Oh, these people, they attacking me and da da da, and I don't know. And I'll look at the cards and I'll see that. I said, well, who was this group of people? Oh, those were some friends of mine, and we got together and we was doing so and so and so, and we did. That's another thing. Doing mundane stuff is gonna affect you spiritually. So you don't have to necessarily sit down and do a ritual or a spell or a curse on somebody. That's still gonna affect you karmically. You know what I'm saying? And so people do come to witches all the time to get help with mundane issues that people do, like lying and gossiping and all that stuff. That's something that we deal with all the time. So you can't just say, oh, I didn't do nothing. You had to have done something, especially if I'm seeing it, because I'll look. And in some cases, the person genuinely didn't do nothing. They just started getting picked on for whatever reason, targeted. But, you know, um, if you're amongst a group of friends and y'all targeting somebody, the one thing about negative energies and negativity is that it causes disease in the body. You attack a person too much, it can cause adverse effects in that person's life. It can cause health effects, and people have every right to defend themselves. And you can't play. I see a lot of people doing that. They be doing the most diabolical stuff, knowing they done started some mess with somebody, knowing they wrong, trying to convince themselves that somehow this person did something, trying to read the cards, don't know what the heck they reading, and they done started a whole bunch of mess, but somebody done did something to them. You know what I'm saying? Right. Well, yeah, of course. You know what I'm saying? But, and I understand that there's people out there that are sneaky and conniving or whatever. But people that are about all that chaos, you got to understand that people look the way that they look. People have a certain health status. There are people that are like in their 50s and 60s and 70s and they look 30 years younger. Those people don't look like that. They're not in that state of health just because they was running around causing a bunch of chaos. Though, those people are like that because they did keep the peace and tranquility around them. You know what I'm saying? Like, that stuff is very hard on the body. That's why people be sick all the time. You be sick all the time and stuff. And, you just need to cleanse yourself. You know what I'm saying? If you know you have done something wrong, don't come to me for no return to sender. Oh, somebody cursed me. No, you cursed yourself. You the one went and started that mess. You the one that created the mess. You helped create the mess, so now you need to cleanse yourself. There is a difference between having a cleanse and getting a reversal. And sometimes it's recommended to do both, especially if you can do a reversal, because reversals can be very dangerous. Reversals can be dangerous. A lot of people will be lighting these reversal candles. You don't realize how dangerous it can be because sometimes you ain't even supposed to be lighting no reversal candle. Send it to what? Send it back to who? You can't send something back to somebody that you created. You created that with that person, and that person didn't even want no smoke with you. That person was literally minding their own business, just la di da, walking down the street, probably went to the store and got some lavender, some Unicali. You like that lavender scented lemonade, some lavender flavored lemonade, you know. And that person ain't even bothering nobody. And then here you are, so some people can't see the forest from the trees. You know what I'm saying? If you a person that goes around starting a bunch of stuff, you know, like if you're starting the mess, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't complain when people use that war tactic because everybody that you connect with, you on some bull crap. That's one of the reasons why, when I make new friends, I don't be telling them, hey, I want you to let's attack this person or attack these people. No. You know what I'm saying? But when people do that and then you become a threat, people can see that you a threat and you got your friends or whatever, and you got more than one person attacking one person, or you doing the most, then people, I know that for me that would be the first thing that I would do, because I feel like a lot of people, instead of having friends to enable them, they need to go sit with themselves. They need to go be alone for a while and think about what they doing. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. So, it's a lot of people. Man, I done seen them. Like, people just doing the most diabolical stuff. And then they be all like, well, you did this to me. You did that. It's like, I ain't, like I ain't thinking about you. I'm thinking about living life. Especially when you a woman. And a lot of us women, when we're menstruating and stuff and our body is going through a bunch of changes, don't nobody want to go through that. That's just like, for example, y'all, I had a real painful ovulation this month. Like, I definitely ovulated. I don't know what it was about that blood moon, because I ovulate around the full moon and I start my cycle around the new moon. And I don't mind sharing that information. but it was painful. You know what I'm saying? Because when you ovulate, the egg busts out of the ovary and that fluid comes out. So I don't know if I may have had a cyst or something that popped or whatever. But anyway, that sucker was kind of painful. And so I'm laying there doing, as a woman, you laying there, you doing your hot compresses and stuff, and you trying to relax your body. Women are not supposed to be at war like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it don't have nothing to do with having a baby. It has everything to do with throwing your body off. You don't need to be throwing your body off all that fighting and carrying on and going back and forth and negativity. It ain't good for you. Yeah, girl, this ovulation that I just recently had was so painful. It was really, really painful. To the point where if I cough, if I sneeze, you can just you can just feel it, just pain. And you know that that can happen. You know what I'm saying? And you just be sore. You know what I'm saying? And women ain't supposed to be doing all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't never seen nothing like it before in my life. I'm not. I don't even feel like talking about what I think it is. I'm not. I'm not. Yeah, man. You ain't supposed to. Like, I don't see how people do it. I ain't never even when I was in my 20s. I was in the house having my babies. I would, watching Jerry Springer or something. I wasn't thinking about none of that stuff, and I still ain't thinking about it. It still ain't my bag, man. I ain't got nothing to do with that. Like, that's very stressful, man. You know what I'm saying? That stuff causes cancer, causes kidney failure, causes all kind of stuff to happen within your body. But I think that it's a lot of people that are possessed unically, and they don't even know it. That's one of the reasons why when people kind of start arguing with me, I don't even argue back, especially if it's my family. I don't even, because I already have discernment to know what's going on. All this negativity floating around here. So how would it even be worth it? You know what I'm saying? Kind of, and I think that high priestesses and practitioners that are learned on that, they just kind of, they just listen and okay. But you already know what you got to do, especially if somebody got a problem with you and you ain't did nothing to them. You know what I'm saying? Like, to sit up here and go into an argument, to go into that emotion with that person is possession, because that drama and that chaos was created by your adversaries, unless you actually sitting down talking about something that's relevant. If it's something that's irrelevant, what's the point in arguing over it? What's the point? You know what I'm saying? Because that's possession. I'll be seeing it on the news too. You know how, like, when you look at them videos, you see people arguing and fighting and stuff. I be knowing them people be possessed. I be like, why do people let people do that to them like that? That's so sad. Like, stop letting people do that to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a lot of people out there, they just want to see some chaos. They like to play puppeteer. They like to play with people, you know? So, but yeah, that's a very common tactic. And, you know, um, you gotta protect your friends. You gotta protect your family. You gotta protect people close to you. Because if you have adversaries, they will try to turn everybody against you. Sometimes people do need for God to do that to them, I'm telling you, or either spirit, whatever you want to call it. They need that because they need to be able to sit with themselves and say, you know what, I ain't right. I'm just running around here starting all this mess. I ain't right, you know? Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. Well, you know what? I'm gonna tell you something. A man that's starting a bunch of stuff and picking up a bunch of mess, he's trouble. He's troubled and he's troubled. But it ain't good to have somebody like that around him because that, that means that he don't really like women. He don't really like women. Women ain't supposed to be doing all that fighting and fussing and arguing and stuff like. No, I'm not gonna do it because I respect myself and I want to be kind to myself. That's not being kind to yourself. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people try to get you to do things to yourself. It's like, no, you're not gonna get me to commit no self harm. That's self harm. I ain't about to sit up there and let you do it. Oh, I'm sorry. I was covering up the mic, y'all. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cover up the mic. Let me see, is that my? Yeah, I think I was covering up the mic. I'm not sure. But people will try to do that. And, it's a lot of these. And then also, I ain't even going to really get deep into this, but some of these folks ain't human walking around here. Okay, I believe in that. Like, it's something ain't right with it because, it's certain behaviors that I seen that in my 48 years of living, I ain't seen that kind of behavior. I ain't witnessed that kind of behavior. I'm not used to that kind of behavior. I'm used to the type of men that to where if he sees some kind of chaos or argument between two women, he's gonna put a stop to it. He's gonna say, wait a minute, yeah, hey, let's let no. Because that's a man that cares about women. That's a man that is a man. But a man that's sitting up there, he want to see a bunch of fighting and arguing. That's disgusting to me. I'm very disgusted by men that do that. I'm sorry, and I don't do it either. I don't like it. So I was talking about that yesterday. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm telling you, Unicali, some of these men ain't human. Some of them are not. Everybody walking amongst us out here ain't human. They not. Okay. So, you gotta be careful with them. For real. They demons. Like when it's off-putting behavior, because I've been around men and women my whole life. And I ain't never seen nothing like that before. So you just never know what you're gonna run into. They monsters, exactly. Uh-huh. They are. And they real distracting. I'm tell you something. They found that case of the bubonic plague. People better start paying attention. Over in Cali, they it is a rare case of the bubonic plague. That's the Black Death. So people need to be focused on protecting themselves right now. You know what I'm saying? Protecting your immune system. All that arguing and fighting and chaos that lowers your immune system. And I believe your immune system, I personally believe that it starts in the heart chakra. Your immune system has something to do with the heart. But they say that the immune system is the whole function of the body, but what is that? That would be, what is that body part that's the immune system? It's one of them. I'll have to look it up. I think it might be in the, I can't even tell y'all right now. I'd have to look it up, but I got a whole diagram of it. I know that the kidneys function for the immune system, the whole body. And when you tearing yourself down like that, you're going to eventually get sick because you're human and you're arguing with these demons. And a lot of them are here in the flesh. There are demons walking around here in the flesh. We don't know what. our government knows, they don't tell us half of it. Okay. They got so much stuff going on down there at Area 51. It's ridiculous. So, and people need to take heed to that. I get, so, but yeah, that's a common war. That's a very common war tactic. I know that I would. If I'm sitting there minding my own business and I got like two or three or four or five people attacking me, it's like, whoa, whoa. Like, your enemies really need to be fighting with each other. That's a fact. Your adversaries need to be fighting with each other. Especially if you don't want nothing to do with that. I don't want nothing from you. You claim you don't want nothing from me. So y'all go fight amongst yourselves. Cause I don't want to have nothing to do with that. Hey, Stephon here. Hey, Stephon. Yeah, I don't want nothing to do with that. You know what I'm saying? Because that's that right there. That's death right there. That's destruction. That's sickness. So, that's exactly the, seriously. And since people like to run in packs these days, Unicali, I'm the same way. I go solo dolo for real, especially when it comes to any type of argument or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Especially this little spiritual battle that me and my mom got going on, you know, not between each other necessarily, but some, like, don't nobody want to hear about that. Don't nobody want to talk about it. People just want to live their life. You know what I'm saying? But that's how you handle that situation. It don't even matter if they appear to be getting along. They can get along all day and night. They can front, but all that chaos and destruction, I'm sending it to my enemies. I don't care what nobody say. Cause what are you tripping with me for? I'm a woman. I'm sitting over here chilling. I ain't thinking about you. I ain't thinking about fighting nobody either. And just because I done got older and because I used to be pregnant all the time. People be like, every time I see you, you pregnant. I was pregnant for 3 years in a row, basically 4 years in a row at one point. And, don't nobody got time for that. You know what I'm saying? That's, no, you know, like to have some peace and quiet, you know? And, some of these people walking around here doing all that fighting and arguing with you, it's because they adversaries done put that, they done laid down a trick on them. A lot of people that just start crap with you just for no reason. Okay, those people are possessed and they got curses on them because that's why they start and mess with you. Huh. So you need to back up away from that because what do you like? What like people say all kind of off-putting stuff to you? It's like, wow, this sounds like something that has nothing to do with me. So let Hey, you know how Peter Griffin backs out the room slowly and kind of looks around like, let me get up out of here. Uh-uh. Don't involve me with that. That's your fight. That's your argument. That's. And a lot of people don't see that, but see, it's a lot of people that are under black magic and they don't even realize they under it. They don't even realize it. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. It ain't meant for you to see it. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna see it. But you running around here starting stuff with people just rude and don't have nothing nice to say to nobody. We know that you got something on you. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes it be something that be literally just eating at that person. It be parasitic. And a lot of people they done gave us some what they call that, downloads. They done gave us some downloads on how to deal with that, and a lot of them people ain't paying no attention. And they'll say, oh, well, but in reality, you dealing with otherworldly beings. You know what I'm saying? You dealing with what's behind the veil, behind the mirror, what's behind the reflections, even in the water that you drink. You know, a glass of water can be very dangerous if you ain't got them portals protected. If your mirrors in your house, if you don't have them portals protected to where can't nothing come through your mirrors, then everything gonna come through. Everything. Cause they traveling. But a lot of people ain't paying no attention to that. And then what I see a lot of people doing is I see them literally on the attack. I'm not talking about Christians that will pray for you, that love you. Cause I got, I got people that are Christian and they like, come home to Jesus and Jesus loves you. And I'm like, I love y'all too. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about them people that, you know, they don't, they wish all bad for you. Start coming from a place of love. So, and, I just don't be getting it, y'all. I really don't. People that, and they, especially them people that be keeping up all this stuff, starting mess, doing all kind of stuff, and they supposed to be smart. They supposed to be wise, but you keeping all this stuff going, and I don't see it as that. You know what I'm saying? I just see them as possessed, and I be and they not gonna listen to me. You think they gonna listen to me? Y'all don't hardly nobody listen to me. Don't nobody be listening to me, but it be people out there listening to me. They know exactly what I'm talking about. They know exactly what I'm talking about. Cause I'll be seeing them all the time. And then my left eye be getting a jumping and stuff. And I've had plenty of manganese. I think they say with your eye be jumping, that's like either a magnesium or manganese deficiency. But I've had plenty of magnesia and manganese, so that sometimes can be like a spiritual sign or something, that tapping. So anyway, I see them of all ages too. Like, you got some kind of curse on you. Why are you tripping with me? Why do you have a problem with me? Why? And I literally meant you no harm. Why is you wilding out, crashing out with me? That's why they doing that. Cause they under possession. And that stuff bleeds into their everyday life. You know what I'm saying? Like if somebody casted something upon them to make them fall out with a certain person, then they gonna fall out with everybody. Every relationship that they have going on is gonna be compromised. Every It's gonna be a problem with everybody eventually, especially if that person stays on you. Like, you know what I'm saying? If that person is like on you, like with that obsession, that devil stuff, then that person just playing you like a fiddle. They just playing you like a fiddle, and you ain't got no peace in your life, none. And you think everybody out to get you. Everybody ain't out to get you. They not. But you can't tell a possessed person that. You can't tell a possessed person that they possess, they high strung, and you gotta be careful with that. So anyway, yeah. I mean, I understand when you feel like you can't trust nobody, but trust me, you it is people out here that you can trust, and when you find people that you can trust, you know, don't take advantage of that because that's a blessing. You know what I'm saying? Welcome back, Unicali. I was about to go anyway, y'all. I was sitting here and play my game till I go to sleep. I play Shop and Drop, y'all. It's one of them games where you just kind of like make stuff fall down in the hole. It's so fun to me. I don't know why it's so fun. Yeah, man, I mean, but you do have to pay attention to that. I believe that it's like a subcategory. It's like a heightened evil eye, and it comes directly from you. So one of the things that I do for my clients is when they having that problem is because some people can serve as a catalyst. So what I do for my clients is whatever entryway that evil eye is making its way through, we have to make sure that it don't do it no more. We gotta close that down to where it don't come in because they all have, their mainly, I'm gonna tell y'all something straight up and down. In 90% of the cases of the evil eye, the portal is gonna be through the heart chakra. In 90% of cases, that's gonna be the portal that the entities come in through. Okay, a lot of people think it's the root. It's not always the root. It's 90% of the time it's the heart chakra that they coming in through. And you got to make sure that because some people will use you as a weapon. Some people will literally use you as a weapon and put something on you to the point where, you don't even be meaning harm, but stuff will just be coming through you, especially if you a medium or you a shaman, and stuff will come through you. Stuff can come through you. People will play games like that. People will use you as a weapon of destruction of others. You know what I'm saying? So you have a responsibility as a spiritual person to know that. So that's one of the downloads that they gave me is that, don't allow yourself to be a vessel for them or an empty seater. That's why when you see people, they just be minding their own business. They ain't bothering nobody. They ain't doing no underhanded spiritual work on nobody to do no harm. Them people more than likely ain't got nothing like that. But if you a person that ain't doing that, but then for some reason everybody around you got a problem with you, right? You can't get along with nobody. And it just seemed like it's something strange about it. You know what I'm saying? Because you are the catalyst, you're the conduit to your own destruction. So that's how they do that. You know what I'm saying? So you got to say, hey, my heart is my heart. My third eye is my third eye. The third eye would be the second most common doorway. That's why a lot of people, when they open up their third eye, a whole bunch of crap starts coming through, and a lot of problems start happening. So you have to be either you gonna call to your guardians, something to block that from coming through. You have to assert yourself and say, hey, I'm not gonna be a weapon of destruction against nobody. So yeah. Yeah, you're right, Stefan. Well, isolation, it depends on what they trying to do. Some people just sadistic, you know. You're right about that. Mm-hmm. Anyway, I could talk about this for another hour, y'all. I'm about to go though. Yeah, I got me a big old cup of water and flushing out my kidneys and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Take care of them kidneys, man. All that arguing. You can't just say, oh, I'm gonna take some moringa powder. I'm a I'm gonna take some moringa powder, but I'm gonna be into it with so and so and so and so and so and so. You ain't got no reason to be into it with nobody. And I feel like when I look up at the sky, the messages that I get from the Most High is peace and harmony. That's it. That's it. You can even tell by looking at the sky. I don't know what it is. It's just, for me, the Most High is leaving a footprint across the sky that just says peace and harmony, and it's not that, because a lot of people like, I don't want to obey. It ain't about obeying, but it makes sense. That's a God that loves you. That's a God that wants what's best for you. And that's all. I'm gonna do some sky gazing today. Uh, and I'll take some pictures and I'll show y'all, like, some reason I'll be seeing that just up in the sky. So weird. Even it was raining yesterday morning, and some of the rain had, cause I had went outside to smoke. I had an umbrella, but I could just feel the vibrations coming from above. Just that literally is, the Most High's footprints is saying peace and harmony. So, that to me, I feel like people should try to create as much peace as possible at this point right now. You know what I'm saying? That's just me. Okay. That's it. So, I don't, if you got to tell somebody something, if you got to, like a lot of people, I'm going to say this before I go. A lot of people be like, oh, you starting something. Having a conversation with another adult and trying to reason with another adult, that's not necessarily war. That's you communicating. It's just that some people that can't handle the truth, or either they just want to fight with you. They want to make a big deal about something. You could say to them, hey, have a nice day. They still going to have a problem with you. I think that's how Unicali, I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm just, I'm going to go live and I'm going to say, hey, have a nice day is what I'm going to do from here on out. I can guarantee you that people are still going to have a problem. People going to have a problem regardless. So, but I don't want to have a conversation with another adult if they can't have a decent conversation, and it's like it's some kind of reciprocity, which means that that person is listening to you and seeing your point and vice versa. You know what I'm saying? You hear them, they hear you, and it's understood. I don't want to talk to nobody that ain't got no understanding. They just want war. No, that's just pure raw chaos. I don't need that. I don't need that because it, it's too much of it. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Yeah, you don't even have to say nothing. You can literally be being quiet, and people still gonna have a problem with you. So it don't matter what you say. You can say, "Hey, I hope you have a nice day. I wish you well in life," and they still gonna have something nasty to say about you. Okay, so that's just what that is anyway. Speaking of which, y'all have a nice day today. Today is Wednesday. I wish everybody well today. And yeah, that's another thing. The universe is listening. I wouldn't be messing around with this Saturn retrograde either. I think Mercury getting ready to go back in retrograde too. So what you put out there comes back to you. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't trying to. It's just don't need it. Just do not need it. You know what I'm saying? Don't even do it. Don't even get baited into doing that. You know what I'm saying? Because them people got something on them. And whatever it is, it's just like sucking all their energy. You know what I'm saying? And once it's done sucking their energy, now they hollowed out. Now, whatever the entity that is trying to get something from anybody that it can. And that's what you really need to be protecting yourself from parasites. You need to have plenty of wormwood, uh, rue, and moringa powder. Because wintertime is coming, you know, and you know what I'm saying? Like, don't nobody got time for that. But I'm glad I'm over in the Midwest now because it's gonna be snowing, icy, You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be ice and snow, and like, okay, y'all know the singer Prince, right? I love Prince, and I just love him. You know what I'm saying? No matter, I don't care what nobody think of Prince. I love him, but he lived in Minnesota, because he Prince felt like um, cold weather killed evil spirits, and it's the truth. So a lot of people be, that when it ice over, when it get real cold, cause I'm from KC Mo. People be like, it's cold if it's like 30 or 40 degrees. Nah, baby, we talking about 5 below. The wind chill feel like it's 10 below. Okay, that's what I'm used to. I'm used to ice storms and snow, and I love it. It's the reason why I missed it, because that's protection. That cold, that real cold. A lot of people don't like it, but you don't know how blessed you are to have that real cold like that. You know what I'm saying? Because that keeps stuff out. So that's why I said, let me get back to the Midwest, because, oh my goodness, I can't wait till we get the first snow. Or when the cold snap come through. That's it. It get real peaceful and quiet too. That snow is real peaceful and quiet. And it's very healing. Even though it's cold, it's still healing. So, anyway. Yeah, I know, with some hot cocoa. Yeah, yeah, exactly. So, yeah, that's it. That's how I grew up. And, I think it was really weather shock for me, because, like, I'm telling you, that cold weather, them bad spirits don't like that cold weather. They don't like it. They don't like it. They don't like snow. Bad spirits don't like snow and ice. They don't. Okay. So, anywho. All right, y'all. Peace and love to y'all. Okay. I know, right? Yes. All right, guys. I'll see y'all later. Okay. All right. Bye bye. Have a good Wednesday. Trying to push the button. I done did something. I don't know. Okay, there we go.